Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're having a really good day today. And today in this video, I'm going to be talking about keyword and niche research. And it's one of the first videos I'm going to be doing on this topic, but one of several over the next few weeks. So in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about how I research on Amazon itself. And that's whether I use the all section, all of the books, or if I go into the books section category specifically, and why I don't do either or all those things. I'll explain exactly what that is in the actual video. So I do hope you find this video useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or comments, suggestions, or anything else. Just let me know down below. Okay, so let's get on with it. Hello, so here we are on the Amazon platform. I'm on Amazon.com at the moment and I'm in incognito mode. Yeah, you can go to this so that basically your search results are not influenced by your prior search results. So of course most people don't do this and their results are always influenced by their search results, but it just gives you a bit of a clearer picture, a blank slate, if you will. What you need to do, if you're not in the US, make sure you've got a US postal code there. You can find that online. You can just use this one I've got here, 58510. It's just one that I use. So the whole purpose of this video is just to go over whether you should search in all or books when you're searching and doing your research on Amazon. And some people seem get quite angry about this. And I just want to highlight, first of all, that sometimes when you look in all or in books, the results are actually pretty identical and sometimes they're very different. And it really depends on the niche and how competitive it is. Because if you're looking under all in a very highly competitive niche, then quite often it will filter out a lot of the books that just haven't sold, for example. So what you'll see is the cream of the crop, the best books that have, great reviews and things like that. And of course, Amazon switches it up. It has its own algorithm and it will switch up what it shows. But in general, that's what is going to happen. And then with the lower competition niches or ones where there isn't very much demand, then you'll find that you will get books that just don't have any reviews or don't have any BSR or whatever. My argument anyway is that not only should you look in all, you should also look in books. And not only that, there's a couple of other things that you should do as well, which I'll discuss towards the end of this video, so stick around for that. The reason why you should look in all in books is because sometimes the results are very different, and basically you can get an idea of the whole picture of the niche much better if you look and do your research a bit more thoroughly. Sometimes it might just mean that you actually come across other books with interesting keywords that you may not have come across otherwise. So it might not be that that book's selling that well, but maybe they give you an idea. They give you an idea for a different niche, or maybe a design idea, or something else. Why kind of limit yourself? Because sometimes you come across a book that's not even in the niche you're looking at and is doing incredibly well. Maybe it's a sponsored ad or something like that, and you get an idea for a completely different book, completely different niche. So yeah, let's not kind of limit ourselves, right? So let's put in what I'm going to look for today, which is about manifestation. The reason I'm going for this just out of interest is because it's something I think a lot of people have become interested in more in the last kind of couple of years or so. I think it's kind of gained popularity as far as affirmations, manifestations, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put in manifestation journal. Let's have a look though, because as soon as I've put manifestation in, you can see that the AMZ Expander tool has come up with all these different ideas, which is huge. There are tons of different ideas here that you can go and look at, which is great. So I highly recommend you get the AMZ extension expander. It's totally free. We are going to just look at though Manifestation Planner 2022. And so even in all, there aren't very many results that it's showing here, saying 251, which obviously is not very much. But if we look on the first page, this is so common, is seeing all of these kind of spiral bound or these planners that come with the stickers and everything, and they're $42 or $43. That's a lot of money to spend on one of these planners. Now, obviously, there's a market for it. You can see the BSRs here, but this is not what everyone is going to be looking for. Some people are just going to want a paperback book, and they're not going to want to pay a fortune for it. So on the first page, you can see these are obviously independently published. Now, this one is not a great BSR by any means, but it has sold, and this is a really, quite a basic cover. I don't want to kind of put this person down, but, it could be better. And yeah, it still has sold unless they bought it themselves, which is possible. These ones are really high, so that's not great. So it's not really a great sign on the first page, especially at all. But remember, there are lots of different keywords that we could be searching for that aren't just manifestation, planner 2022. So there are lots of different possibilities. Anyway, if we want to get away from some of these books, then maybe we want to look in books. Now we're in books, and you can see that it's not very different. So again, it's the same. It's basically the same results, right? So if we scroll down a bit further, we do start getting into some. This one 600. Okay, it's not brilliant, but it's something, and it has got 7 reviews. Another one quite bad. What I'm going to search in this time is Manifestation Journal for Beginners. That's it. Only go back again. Only where are we? Okay, I'm in all at the moment. There's only 822 results. Now, what I would suggest is get a little notepad, or I have this this little tool called Chrome Notes. It's a Chrome extension, it's free, and you can just type in your notes and you can save them to your computer or whatever. So what I would do is I would go down and just write in some additional keywords and ideas. So 369 manifesting journal. So it's also manifest your dream life. Now I'm doing this, obviously I haven't checked trademarks or anything like that. You will want to always check every term that you're using. If you're putting that on your book or in your title, yeah, just go along and kind of put in these things. You might not know what they mean. I don't know what Project 369 is. So I would have to look that up. Okay, so obviously you don't want to write a book on something you have absolutely no idea about. So you're going to need to research these things, obviously. So what else have we got? So like 555 scripting, you could then write that down. So take your notes, put 555 scripting, and then keep going along like that. Just kind of put in any ideas. So another thing as well, law of attraction techniques, creating wealth. These are things that people might be searching as Amazon. Look at the price of that. I'm not sure why that's so high. Maybe it's I don't know if it's a hardback. $19.97. I'm not sure. Is this a really big journal? Well, anyway, they've got some really good prices going on. I mean, this one, $9.99. Spiritual self-care for Black women. Again, you could write down spiritual journal and so on. $9.99 as well. And look how low this is. So, this could be something, this could be an area you want to look into. Manifesting through meditation. That's another interesting one. You could write this down, manifesting through meditation. Obviously, this is a bit different. I'm guessing this is more of a high content book. 100 guided practices. Okay. Another one, 369 Manifesting Journal. This is a bestseller. Be careful of this, okay? Don't put your book in irrelevant categories. This is how some people can get a bestseller rank. They'll put their book in categories that really are not relevant. That's how they can get their bestseller rank, because the competition is so low. Nevertheless, obviously this book is doing really well. So again, maybe you want to look at 369 method. This isn't all. and you can go into books. I Believe in Me, that was a book I didn't see before. Daily Law of Attraction Practices, Wealth Abundance, Manifest Your Dream Life. I mean, look, this is a really long title and subtitle as well. I personally think that's a bit overboard. I think this is kind of cramming in keywords. Some people will still do that. By contrast, something like this is quite to the point. It's not cramming in anything. It's explaining what the book is. So I am looking at the 369 method on Amazon, and this is under all at the moment. Let's have a look at this. Manifestation Journal 369 method. I'll have a look at that one. Okay, so this is under all, under 369 method. So there's quite a lot of sponsored listings, and so this might be quite competitive to list your book. Okay, before I look at any of that anyway, the thing that I look for when I'm trying to validate something, whether it's a niche or a keyword, is I ask myself a few questions. So the first is, are there books selling on page 1 with the keyword I'm looking for in the title or the subtitle? Have any of the books been published in the last 6 months to 1 year? The more recent, the better. If it's making sales, that's a good sign. And the third thing is, can I compete with the book that is selling? So by that I mean, how many reviews does this book have? What's the design like? Can I compete with the design on these books that are selling? Could I improve on the design that's there? The really big one though is the reviews. So if there are just tons of books, they're selling really well, but they have hundreds or thousands of reviews, that's a problem. However, if there is 1 or 2 books selling and maybe they only have a few reviews, that's still okay. That's still a good sign. These are sponsored ads, but they're still selling. This one's selling without any reviews whatsoever. So that's really interesting. We want to check that out. We would want to look into that a bit further. And then as we go down, we can see, these have got 12 reviews each. There's another one, 69 reviews. 67 reviews, that's a lot. So look, there is some competition here, there's no doubt. But you want to have a look at what's in their subtitle as well, because some of the other books, they're ranking obviously for multiple keywords. They're not just ranking for 369, they're ranking for other things that are in their title. So you want to look at these other keywords in your competitors' title. So write down all of the different keywords that you can find that are in the subtitle and title of the books that are selling well. I'm going to have a look in books and just see what the difference is. But it's interesting how by changing just a small keyword, you get to see so many more low content books. When we just put in the manifestation journal at the beginning, we saw all of those traditionally published books. So you can see how when you're using a variety of keywords, especially the lower competition, long tail keywords, when you rank for those, that's how you get those initial sales before you start ranking for the more competitive terms that many other traditionally published authors are also targeting. Okay, so I think we've seen this. There's quite a lot of stuff there. Just to say, I do have the Self-Publishing Titans Chrome extension. That's free as well. And this is meant to let you know, basically, whether this is a reasonable niche to go into. Look, it gives you the information here. So the higher the score, the better. We recommend you find niches in scores of 60 and higher, but see what the average scores work best for you. The lowest would be 50, but be careful. Okay, but the thing is that what will throw off this score is just a couple of books that have incredibly high reviews. So some of these books have thousands of reviews. So I would think that this picks up on that and is thinking, okay, this is really highly competitive, and that's going to knock points off the niche score, I'm guessing. So I'm going to look in books. Let's go. Okay, so now we're in books, and it's slightly different here. we can see the sponsored listings have changed. Yeah, so it's a bit different. So, for example, this book's popped up now that we're in books, and this wasn't in the all section, and this cover definitely needs work. So this one hasn't sold. So now we're in books. You start to see some of the books that haven't sold. Yeah, it looks like this person has kind of churned out a lot of different, very similar books. So once you go into books, it might change your picture, because what we can see right away on the first page is there's quite a lot of books that don't have any BSR at all. But those books that don't have a BSR, you've got to think, okay, why don't they have a BSR? And it might be that the books aren't very high quality. So if there are still books selling in that niche and you think you can compete with them, then you may still have a chance, because if these books are still ranked on page 1, then it could be, you could have a chance that your book's going to rank on page 1 if you do go into this, and that you might get sales if you have a nice, a good enough cover. So this one's been selling. When was this published? Yeah, so this was only just published, and it has sold, and it's got a 2-star review. So yeah, look, I think that there's promise in this niche overall. There's lots of different keywords you can target. There's some competition with this 369, but there are other keywords you can go into as well. There are books on the first page that are not selling but are lower quality. So and also you can see the niche score has now changed, that we've gone into books. It's gone up to 65, which is good. So I've just come onto Publisher Rocket, and I find this a really fun tool to use. It's really great for giving you an idea for some extra additional keywords that you can research on Amazon, but also to check how many people are possibly searching for the term on Amazon. Take it with a pinch of salt, but it's still worth having a look. So what I'm going to do, and I think what is quite useful, is just to put a really broad term in. I'm just going to put in manifestation, and then you can see it comes up with a ton of different things. If you're interested in doing calendars, by the way, that's another thing that I've seen some really good BSRs for. Manifestation Journal Magic. So this is quite a lot of searches, and it's quite a high competitive score, but that still might be something that you could add. I mean, if you keep scrolling down, there is so much here. So look here, Manifestation Planner 2022 for men. It's got a lot of searches and is really low competition. So that could be something you might want to look on Amazon for. I find this is best for getting just other keywords that you can go and research on Amazon, and just as additional information, because you want as much information as you can before you go ahead. So having put in 369, Project 369 Journal is showing quite a lot of searches and not too competitive. And there are lots of different ones you could end up checking out here. So this is just a kind of overview of what I might do once I've got the keywords from Amazon. I might go and check them out on Publisher Rocket, and then see if there are any others that come up that are showing a good result. And also you can search on the UK and Germany as well, which is quite useful. And I would suggest checking out the UK while you do this research as well, because it can often be really different. The competition there might be a lot lower for certain keywords, and a lot of books might be selling incredibly well over there, but not on the US, or vice versa. Definitely worth checking out both platforms when you're doing your research as well. So lastly, what I wanted to show you is that you can also check for independently published books. This can give you more ideas. It can also give you an idea of the quality that's being published and whether you can compete with with other books. So what you do is you put your keyword and then you just put independently published at the end. And then all the books that show up should be, or usually are, independently published. You'll often see a lot more books that actually are selling as well, that for some reason when you just do a general search you won't find. Maybe it's that they're actually not ranking for the keyword that you're searching for, they're probably ranking for some other keyword at that point, and that's why you don't see them. But that's such another reason to always search for independently published, because you will find these books. You might not know 100% which keyword it is they're ranking for, but the keywords that are the most important are the ones in your title and your subtitle. So as long as you write down and make a note of all the keywords in the title and subtitle that your competitors are using, obviously don't copy their subtitle or title exactly, definitely don't do that, but write down all those keywords that you can research in order to get the best combination yourself. And you can research all of those yourself on Amazon or using another keyword tool, and you can decide on your keywords from that. So these are a lot of books that are selling pretty well that were published in 2021. Another thing that you can do is you can change this from featured and go to publication date, and this will give you all of the most recently published books. So we can see here this was published on the 12th of January. So I think a lot of these, you could consider these as higher content. It looks like they're, higher content books, apart from this one, but this is going to have some content as well because it's a guided workbook. So they're going to take you more time than just, a notebook or something. But this could still be worth your while, especially when they're, charging those kind of prices. In general, when you're looking at a very competitive niche, you're only going to be seeing the best books in that niche under all. So if you end up seeing kind of nothing when you're searching for that under all, it might be that keyword doesn't have enough search volume. On the other hand, it might be that the books available in that particular niche are just not that high quality and not many people are buying them. So there are different reasons why there may not be books selling in a particular area, and that's worth investigating as well. And then when you go into all, you're going to see a lot more low content books, and you're going to be able to get a lot more ideas for keywords that you can write down, and you're going to come up with other niches, because often books in other niches will pop up that you'll be able to look at. I think most of all, sometimes the most helpful can be searching again, lastly, under independently published, and that is checking out all of the books that are independently published under that keyword, because you'll often find a lot more books selling that do have that keyword in their title or subtitle, but that are not showing under books or all. The reason being, those books are actually ranking for a completely different keyword at that point. So maybe they're ranking for something that's quite a low competition keyword, but they've started making sales on that keyword. And then once they've started making more sales for these lower competitive terms, eventually they'll start ranking for the ones that you're searching for as well, the higher competitive terms or the shorter tail keywords. So that's why it's so important to look at all these things. Look under independently published. Also, if you look under most recently published, you can find some kind of hidden gems that maybe have only just started selling, and it might be that they don't have any reviews. It might be that it's quite a low competition niche and you can get into it. You're not going to know 100% what keywords it's ranking for, but you can make your guess based on the keywords in the title and subtitle. Add as many relevant keywords to your backend slots as you can, so that you do have a chance of ranking for some of these lower competitive terms that might get you those initial sales. So one way of doing that, I mean, with the manifestation example, there are so many different search terms that come up in the AMZ suggestion expander. Go through those, see what books are actually making sales under those lesser competitive terms, and those might be a good option to definitely add into the back end keywords, for example. So I think that's all for today, and I hope this was helpful for you. If you're interested in KDP, then please do consider subscribing to my channel, and also if you could hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell so you'll get notified of future videos, that would be great. And thank you for listening.